Actually, after joining in the CEDAW committee in 1977, I was always thinking about what to do on the older women's issues, because all over the world, older women are most neglected and they are silent. Their issues are silent in the government reports and the NGO report. And CEDAW committee, I don't, I have not seen that much. I mean, older women's issues are raised in the constructive dialogue and the list of issues and questions, or the on the concluding observations. That is why, I was thinking about that, and all of a sudden, actually, it was dramatic, experience for me, because I have seen one day at the UN, Mrs. Gordon, Natalie Gordon, with the badge on older women, ask about older women. So I was just jumped and at her, and I was asking her, are you involved in older women's issues? Do you have papers or anything? I would like to see all those, because I need to prepare a paper for the CEDAW committee. And then she was also very much interested, and she said, of course, why not? We are trying for last 10 years to enter into the CEDAW committee process, to have for the protection of older women's rights. So then, in the following day, I was caught by surprise that about 4 or 5 NGOs, Suzanne was there, Suzanne Paul, Judy Lair, Mrs. Gordon, and many other NGO leaders who are working on the older women's and aging issues. They came and talked to me, and they said that whether we can sit and talk on lunch. And we had a good lunch, and we have spoken about all this, discussed about the older women's issues. Then I got many papers, and that's how I have prepared my first document. And Bridget Sleep was also there. It's a wonderful, women's rights activist, and also she is an expert in the Help Age International. She was also involved in the whole process. And actually, I have produced this, and I have also spoken with John Connors. She was the secretary at the time with the CEDAW committee, and I asked her how we should proceed. And she said that, you see, this issue lying pending since 2005. Nobody has taken any interest on that. If you want to take, that will be a wonderful opportunity. And I said to her, you see, I'm a born civil servant, and I know how to take issues further. And if you give me and have faith and confidence in me, you will see how I proceed. And within 2 years' time, and now, we have actually presented our first concept note. It was a jam-packed meeting, I can say, in the history of UN. Most of the states parties, they were there, NGOs were there, and the CEDAW committee members, and it was a huge, and all of the stalwarts of the UN bodies also were present there. And many of them presented their comments, their views during that meeting. Suzanne also there, were present there, and Bridget Sleep, Judy Lair, and also many of the UN organizations also presented their written comments. And it was a very well organized and presented meeting. And before that, we had another meeting in Geneva. The NGOs has organized that meeting. It was a luncheon meeting, and for the CEDAW committee members also to familiarize with the issues and the importance and all these things. Actually, it was my advice to Suzanne and Judy, so that if they can arrange a meeting like that. And that was also a very eye-opening meeting, because it about 50, more than 50 NGOs were present there. And in the CEDAW committee meeting, never such a big gathering I mean, occurs, happens. Excuse me for my language, but you know, sometimes I cannot express what I feel. So, but then we have submitted our first draft, and the CEDAW, we in the CEDAW committee we formed a working group, and about 7 members are involved in this working group, and Naila Gabor, she's the chairperson of of our CEDAW committee. She's also a member of this working group. I am the chair of this working group, and another member, Naila Gabor, is from Egypt, and another member is from Finland, Mr. Brun. Nicholas Brun is there, and our another member from Thailand, Sai Churichutikul, is there, and also another 3 members. One is Barbara Bailey from Jamaica, and from Violeta Neubauer from what is Violeta Neubauer is there, and Hayashi is from Japan. She's also is one of our working group member, and we have presented the first draft, and in the 46th session we have actually examined our draft, and in the plenary, and now in the intersessional time we have submitted our revised draft, and on the basis of all the suggestions I have gathered from the CEDAW committee members, and also from the documents I have received, and all this we have prepared the revised draft. It is in the process of translation now, because many of our members are not English spoken. I mean, all the 6 UN languages, it will be translated, and hopefully in our next session, in the 47th session going to be held in Geneva, we'll be able to adapt this general recommendation, because this is very important, this general recommendation. Why? Because the CEDAW is this is the state obligation after ratification by the states parties. So when when this general recommendation is adopted by the CEDAW committee, then this will be a state obligation for the government, to implement the human rights of older women, to protect the human rights of older women. Actually, we have, in the general recommendation, we have several recommendations. We have first, we have described about the discrimination the older women face, as they age, because they are women and they are old. That is why all over the world, they are powerless. They do not have money. They property grabbing is another issue in many countries of Africa. So all these issues, and most important thing is that nowadays people's longevity is increasing, and women live longer than men. Because of the increase of the healthy lifestyle, and also for the the knowledge and sensitivity about the living style and all these things, people are living longer nowadays, and women are living longer than men. And all these issues, but women suffers from discrimination because of the lifelong discrimination they face. This is a life cycle approach, from the childhood to adulthood to old age. The women are suffering because of this, subordinate status in the society, in the family, and that is what we ask the government to address, to protect the human rights, to protect especially the economic rights, the health rights, and their position in the employment sector, and to protect their dignity and honor. All these issues, and especially in the long-term health care is one of the important issue. And after, we think the older age starts from 60 and above, And nowadays, women live about 100 years. Many women in the developing countries also, they are living more than 80 years, and they are dependent on their family. And in developing countries, but family thinks that they are burden because they are not earning more, because they do not have um, productively and reproductively, they are not active. That is one of the important issue. They face discrimination. They do not earn, and also in many countries they do not have enough pension because they have, in their young age, they have worked less than men. In many developed countries, we have seen women are engaged in part-time job because of their engagement in family affairs and full responsibility in family affairs, and that is why they do not have time to work full-time, and that impacted in their late stage of their life. They are not earning enough pension. That is not sufficient. In many countries, women do not have any opportunity to work outside because of their education and the social condition. They are not allowed to work. So what then they will do if they live longer in the family? They are dependent. They do not have. That is why we are asking the government to actually have a non-contributory pension allowance for the older women. That is very important, and all over the world, this is very much needed as a non-contributory pension for women. Thank you very much.